Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at people who left their partner on the day of the wedding. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. My cousin's backyard shotgun wedding. She changed her mind because they got in a fight that morning. My uncle still made barbecue and it just turned into a typical family hangout. They got married the next weekend anyway. Not a very exciting story. They're still married like 22 years and 3 kids later though, so that's something. Oh, so they left for a day and then came back and they got married the weekend? Yo. That's crazy. Imagine being like, well, we're not going to get married today. And like all the guests are there and it's just going to be like a normal barbecue. That's so awkward. So like everyone's just there not celebrating anything. They're just there for the barbecue now. Wow. The nun wedding. It was a very small backyard do, and when we showed up, a relative of the groom ushered us out back and whispered that the wedding was off, but they had all this food and to help ourselves. Apparently, just that morning, the groom found out that the bride banged the stripper at a bachelorette party, but his family said they already spent all the money on the party, so they would just tell people when they arrived. It was one of the most awkward experiences of my life because the groom just sat dejectedly in a chair while people tried to cheer him up. We ate a little out of obligation and then got the hell out of there. Well, that's sad. Why do people always cheat on like the day before the wedding? What? Like they think it's okay because it's before the wedding, but like you guys are in a relationship. What is going on? Knew someone who got married, then moved into her parents' basement. A couple of days later, her dad heard, through the floorboards, his new son-in-law abusing his daughter. He promptly kicked him out and annulled the marriage. Wow. Good. Good on the dad. That's what every dad should do. Protect the kids. Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, the son-in-law is lucky that he's not dead. A colleague of my husband's texted him about a week before the wedding, saying something cryptic like, if I'm in Key West on Friday, the wedding isn't happening. So he was clearly having thoughts prior to. But social media showed that the rehearsal dinner happened the night before the wedding, and he was there. So we figured he had gotten over it. We had family in town and weren't planning to attend the wedding anyway. But my husband texted a congratulatory message later on the day of. Guy replied from Key West. He did not show for the ceremony. His excuse was that she wouldn't sign the prenup. The reality was that he was already seeing someone else. So he was cheating, but he was like, no, it's her fault because she wouldn't sign the prenup. Pathetic. My friend did this like 20 some years ago. She was engaged to a guy from a very well-off family. The wedding was in California, but they were living in Seattle. Very posh, very expensive, but the mother-in-law was always a bitch to her. Right at the beginning of the reception, the mother-in-law came up and said some nasty things to her in whisper, thinking she would just take it again. She lost it. Families got involved, and she ended up on a plane back to PNW that night. Her family had already started moving her things out of the apartment that evening. Never spoke to him again. Wow! See, this is what I mean. It's always like family doing things to break people up. See, if she had like an amazing mother-in-law, they wouldn't have broken up. Crazy. My brother went to this engagement party. Everything was great, nothing out of the ordinary. Wedding comes around 3 months later. He shows up and it's a totally different bride. Same groom, same date, same invite, just a new bride. No explanation. What? That's freaking crazy. So what? Imagine, you know your friend's getting married and you're so excited for them, and then you arrive at the wedding and it's not even the same bride, it's not even the same girlfriend, but everyone's still invited, it's or the same date, but everyone just turns up and they're surprised, like, who the is that? Right? Who the hell is that? What happened? Like, did she get plastic surgery or what is going on? My cousin Shay did this. There was a sitting area out of the way, out of sight behind a grove of trees at the wedding venue. Her and the bridal party and photographer decided to take the stone path that led behind and around it for some pretty photos. They all walked around the corner to the groom getting a BJ from the best man right as he popped off. They didn't notice the group of people standing there in shocked horror because they were a ways down. She kicked him and his families and friends out, and we still had a party afterwards. She met her now husband at the reception. He was the DJ. According to him, sex at weddings where the person isn't the future spouse is more common than people realize. What the frick? So, I mean, the boyfriend has definitely been cheating all along. All along. Excuse me? At his own wedding? Yo, people are freaking crazy. Like, seriously, why are you gonna get married if you don't even love your spouse? Like, just don't get married and just get together with the person that you actually want to be with. Huh? This happened to a friend. He found out she was cheating on him and still was on the morning of the wedding. That's when he found them together in a separate room for the wedding party. Messed up. See, why do people keep cheating before a wedding? Before? Why? My sister-in-law called off her wedding 1.5 months out because she was going through a deep depression. It was so tough, but her fiance understood that it wasn't because she didn't want to marry him. It's that she couldn't find any joy in life at that stage, and it was the wrong time to get married. They're still together and have 2 kids now, and are very content with life. Oh. Wait, I think that's good, right? The fact that he just waited, and he knew that maybe, it's not the time for her to get married, but they still care and love each other so much that they're willing to work it out. That's love. I have a worse version of this. Had a family member get married and they got pregnant afterwards. Seemed all good. The day of the birth, the dude decided he didn't want to be a father and left to never be seen again. Never even saw the kid. I would actually go crazy. Like, you're thinking you're gonna have like such a good life with your partner, your husband, your wife. And then the day you give birth to your kid, they disappear. So like your dream family is just shattered because you don't even have one anymore. Why didn't they show any signs, right? If you didn't want to be a father, then don't knock someone up. My wife's family has a story from the early 1900s in which a bride and the groom had courted mostly by mail. The day of the wedding, bride got cold feet. The family was trying to figure out what to do when the bride's sister piped up and said, "I'll marry him." The groom thought about it for a few minutes and decided he was in. The wedding proceeded as if nothing had happened, and they allegedly were married 50 plus years and produced a big happy family. Yo, this is actually like a drama, right? It's like the sisters swap places. Huh? She was being like, okay, I'll do it for the family. I'll do it. I'll marry him. We are not going to lose face today. Our families. That is crazy. My friend did this, just turned off his phone and didn't show up at the ceremony. When I asked him about it, he said, well, I just woke up that morning and thought to myself, nah, F this. F this? It's your wedding day. You're supposed to be marrying the love of your life, but you're like, F this? How many people get married to people that they don't even love? Like, they're not even excited to marry. Why? Why would you get married then? Like, why would you agree to go through with it if that's not what you want? What? Save everyone the time and break up. Bride's best friend decided the wedding was the perfect time to announce that bride was secretly pregnant. Problem is, groom was religious and saving himself for marriage, but bride agreed to it. They hadn't had sex before. Turns out she had been cheating for most of the relationship because of this. I believe she planned on waiting until after they had sex and telling him the child was his. Turned into a very interesting situation where groom's parents were very upset, thinking he broke his promise of abstinence to them. Bride's parents were celebrating the pregnancy. Bride and groom both had looks of absolute horror. But you know what? Good on the bride's best friend. This freaking lady was planning on telling him that the baby was his after they had the first night together. Wow, freaking yeah. Not the day of, but my mom's first marriage lasted 13 days. He was mentally unstable, locked her up in the apartment and beat her. She was eventually able to get his mother to rescue her and take her to a shelter. I mean, thank goodness the mother-in-law in this story is nice. Jeez. My dad left his bride at the altar. It wasn't my mum, it was years before. From what he told me, the relationship was quite toxic and got worse during the wedding preparation. My dad apparently warned her that he was very close to calling everything off. She told him he didn't have the guts to do it. So when the civil agent asked him if he was willing to take the lady as a spouse, he said no. She, rightfully so, was enraged, and her family tried to beat up my dad, who swiftly left with his best friend. They still got married a few months later on, but got divorced pretty quickly. Why would she still marry someone who said no? What? Who would do that? You still get married to someone who says no? Why? That's your fault. Oh my goodness. My grandma killed her first husband on their wedding day. She was 15. It was arranged and divorce wasn't an option, so she was like, all right, murder it is. Down. And he was probably a lot older than she was. So yeah, you can't even blame women back in the days for when this happened, right? You can't even blame them. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!